wanted her to buffet and show me some of the areas in my life that I knew deep down that I didn't like. But thank God for his knife and for her being willing and walking in the spirit of humility and getting out of the way and letting God get me. Because she cracks me up. She always says, well, God gonna get you, or God gonna talk to you. So I'm gonna leave that alone, but just between you and God. Whenever she say that, it's scary. I'm like, oh, because I know her relationship with God. I'm like, oh, Lord, I ain't got a chance. I want to speak to those single ladies before I sit down, just real quick. Stop sowing that seed of discord in your children. Yes. If you have a daughter, do not tell your daughter her daddy's no good. Because every man that comes across her path, because of that first deposit that came out of your mouth, she's going to have the hatred of men from that point on. So stop telling her, stop taking her for them rides and mocking her daddy and mocking. Don't ride by the house and say, look at that deadbeat, he's good for nothing. Single ladies, stop it. Trust God. Keep your mouth off of them. So the men can rise up. What would happen if God allowed us to see that? Our conversations and how it impedes what the Lord wants to do with our mates, or maybe it's your baby's daddy. What if we can just, God can show us that our actions and our conversation are releasing the hounds of hell against him? I don't know. Well, I'm going to get out of the way. I have a lot I can say. But I take this thing serious. Even more so than ministry. I want to be a man. I walk around the house. I'm going to tell you something about me. I walk around the house, I think about it, I'm like, man, I thank God for this dude. I thank God for God connecting me with a woman who lets me be a man.
Just wanted to say happy Father's Day to all of the fathers. Today is your day, which you deserve a blessed Father's Day, and to just relax and enjoy it. Happy Father's Day to you. Love you all. I'm a great man that God, only God, has placed in my life. I remember a prophetic word we got when we were engaged from Prophetess Loretta Pink. It's got me shaking because that was really powerful when we were up here. But and she called us up there and she said to us that she said, man of God, God knew this timing. God put you in her life for this timing, for this moment. As the kids are growing up, God knew that they were going to need that father in their life, and he placed you at the right time in her life to do that. And ironically, I mean, that word resonates to this day so loud, because he has stood from the beginning when he came into the household, immediately took on the role as their father. And I mean, I've never seen, I knew it had to be God, because I didn't even ever think. And I asked God, what did I do to deserve this type of man, you know, in my life, in my children's life? I asked God, what did I do to deserve this? It was like, you ever had something that was like surreal, so good, it was like just a surreal moment, that it was like, it is too hard to believe that you have something that good in your life. I spent a lot of my years just thinking like, wow, and on my private time and my quiet time, laying up on my bed or wherever, just thinking, musing over it, like, wow, what did I do? Like, am I dreaming? Seriously, because, you know, I just, even my daughter to this day said, I don't know if I'll ever get married, Dad, because to find a father and a husband like you, my daughter said that many times, I don't know if I'll be able to find that. And I told her, you will. They're out there. We have good men out there. They're out there. But from day one, this man of God has come into the household, and immediately, I mean, it was influenced by, you know, all the good qualities and all the things that he offered and did for the children, as far as like I remember the nights, the long nights when I'm in the bed sleeping and I hear them. He's offering them, giving them all of this counsel and wisdom late at night. I'm waking up time after time looking at the clock and hearing the voices and them questioning him and him just imparting all of this stuff to them. That stuff, honey, is not going to go unnoticed before you leave the earth like you mentioned. I know God's going to let you see your seed prosper. You put too much into those children. You imparted too much, too many hours. Late at night when I'm thinking, aren't you tired? I even thought, silly me, why are you up in there spending all this time, offering all that to the children? But he has such a passion, a passion to do it. And to this day, I see it unfolding. I see it unraveling in their lives. I see the wisdom in the way they speak, in the way they respect you. They're not here. That's true. Keon called this morning and said he couldn't make it. He had to take care of, some car trouble and stuff. And the other ones did work, but not making excuses for them. They don't see it all the way like how they need to see it. But they see a glimmer and they know. They fall and they respect him and they know. Don't think they don't. But they will. You will see them running to the Lord. You will see them in the church. You will see them bringing their families and their children. You will see them prostrated, repenting, and they will come to you and say, I didn't know at the time. As Keon has already said to us even recently, that some of the things, the wisdom that you've given him, he see it now, and he said, at that time, I didn't know why he was telling me this. He said, Mom, I didn't know why Steve, at the time he told me this or he told me that. Now I see why Steve said this and why Steve. He was always in their ear, showing them a better way, showing them how young men are supposed to behave themselves. Day in and day out, he was on them, showing them how young men are supposed to be. And he told them, I was in gang banging, I sold drugs, I was in the street life, and you cannot beat it. You cannot beat the system. It's been around too long. You cannot beat it. And he showed them the way. He taught them. Many hours he taught them. And he's a true epitome of what a father, a husband, a man, a real man is supposed to be. And I put something on Facebook. It's similar to something like I put on Facebook, is that you don't have to prove to anybody. I said you don't have to prove to anybody that you're saved and you love the Lord. But your life does have to be proof that you're saved and you love the Lord. Well, the same thing, you don't have to prove to anybody that you've been a great husband, a great father, a great man of God. But your life has spoken that for you, that your life speaks loudly of what you have done and who you are. Your life speaks loudly, and it will speak to that grand day when the Father calls you home many years from now. It will speak that grand time after. You are leaving a legacy. Even as Brenda came up and said, you are not going unnoticed, baby. You are very much loved. And we can tell, even when those children, when they come around, and you can tell their demeanor and how they're around you and stuff. You can tell the respect, but at the same time, the respect, there's a little shame on them. If you can notice, there's a little shame, and we say it all the time, especially with my oldest son. And I think he feels like he's let us down, and he feels like he's let him down. And you can see it. You know how you can discern certain things. You can discern it. But they love you and they respect you, and we all do. And I just wanted to say, I don't know where I would be, and I don't.